Hi, this is Myra Tanksley, and I'm recording this on July the 18th, 2017. And this is another one of the audio videos that I am recording um, in. Actually, it's almost like a series because I'm the proud single parent of a 24-year-old son with autism, high functioning autism. His name is Marquis, and Marquis is a victim of corrupt, I want to say, exploitation. He's being abused and neglected ongoing, repeatedly, in many, many different ways, all for federal funds. And just because I have been a mother, besides being African American, and I'll explain that later, why I put the race in there, because I, I'm sure that the way I've been treated is not happening to these white parents. But um, he's been a ongoing victim of a corrupt government, state government, county government here in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Franklin County is the county, and a very wicked, evil, unfit lawyer by the name of Aaron Sanford, who was appointed by probate court of Franklin County, Ohio. They're corrupt, and so is she. I mean, all of these people are corrupt. They're the scum that the Bible talks about when they talk about injustice. In the Bible, and I am a Christian, so is my son Marquis, and the Bible is just full of God speaking out about injustice. There's a lot of sin that God speaks out about, and that's why we really don't have to judge anybody. We can just read uh, the Word of God, and He lets us know what's right, what's wrong, describes things to us, tells us things, and the Bible is full, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, of God speaking out about injustice. And so that's who he's talking about when he talks about injustice. He's talking about people like Aaron Sanford, probate court, the Ohio Supreme Court Disciplinary Council, who refused to even acknowledge a grievance that I sent in. They acknowledged half of it, about how she was unfit and how she was doing me and my son, especially my son, but they didn't acknowledge the part where I told them how she lies. And that's a no-no for a lawyer. Lawyers not to lie to a client or lie on a person or lie to the court, the so-called court of law. And they didn't even acknowledge that part. And that's how these people do these things. They're very, as all of them people are very corrupt, very rotten, and they will just ignore stuff. They'll know the truth, just sweep it under the rug. But anyway, my son has been um, not able or allowed. That's the better word, because he would call me if he could. He hasn't been allowed to call me since May the 13th, 2017, and he has not been allowed to visit with me since March the 15th, 2015. So that's been over 2 years ago. And I happened to, so that I could see my son, and I knew he was going to go to counseling because he has to go to counseling. It was initiated by the U.S. Department of Education after I filed a complaint against the Columbus City School District for violating Marquis' civil rights by throwing him in seclusion clauses. So they ordered for the school district. So that's how it initiated the counseling. And they ordered the school district to give him compensatory education and also to pay for this counseling, because they said that the school district, the U.S. Department of Education said the school district had violated my son's rights. So he had told me that he was going to counsel on Wednesday. So that day, and it was July the 8th, 2015, the Lord showed me where he was at. So I seen him coming out, and that's how I got to see him. And it's heartbreaking. It's on my petition site, because I just created another petition, and then people couldn't open the link. So then I created, basically the same petition, but I put it on a different petition site. So that's the videotape of when I last seen my son. And it was so heartbreaking because he was begging to uh, have me stay with him. He was surprised to see me, and he was happy to see me as I was happy to see him, but I was shocked at his appearance because they, you know, put him on a higher dosage of thorazine and start him on a high dose of lithium, and he blew up. He really, he had just blown up like a helium. His head looked like a helium balloon. And prior to seeing him, July the 8th, 2015 was like 3.5 months before that. On March the 15th, 2015 is when they allowed him to visit me. Um, and I haven't been able to visit with him since then. So, like I said, I haven't seen my son over 2 years. And he was basically normal weight, but then after they increased, Sanford increased his thorazine to about the maximum dosage of 800 milligrams to 900 milligrams, and then started him on lithium, he just gained weight because he hardly even gets to eat. He's lucky if he gets one meal a day because he's been told me. And this petition site, the one on causes, has a lot of, it has uh, the videotape of when I see my son July the 8th and how they try to get him to turn against me and go off on me. Because I'm just dealing with, we just got scum in our lives. We got pure trash in our lives. And nobody's going to, ever approach me and say I'm slandering them, because it ain't slander if it's true. I'm not going to get, and I haven't. And I got all kind of evidence against these people. And like I said, because I remember when the Ohio Attorney General was sending me a bill for $2,000 when my son was at this state facility. Just give me your background. And I said, I'm not going to pay you half a cent. I said, for one thing, I don't pay people for abusing and neglecting my son. He didn't ask to be over there. Y'all illegally committed him over there. And they were overcharging him. And so they sent this law firm up in Akron. They contacted them and had them, the so-called, go after me for this $2,000. And you know how they send intimidating letters. But the Lord tripped them up because they were saying it was for the Ohio Department of Mental Health, which is not the same thing as the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. God will trip your enemies up. I've seen him do it over and over and over again. So I called him. I said, now you lawyers need to investigate the backgrounds of these cases that I guess you've been hired by the state of Ohio to try to. I said for number one, I said, I'm not full of hot air. I got, at that time, was 2 Facebook pages because I didn't have the audio tape page. I said, I got 2 Facebook pages that shows my son being abused. And I said, it's not all the evidence, abused and neglected. And I said, I don't pay people for abusing and neglecting my son. I said, so don't waste your paper, your pen, your printer. They said, well, I've been one. So I said, there's nothing to talk about. I said, because I'm not going to pay them half of a copper penny for what they have done to my son and what I have had to see. I said, no parent should have to come in there and see their child the way I've seen my son. And I captured some of it on these Facebook pages. I said, so I'm not going to pay them half a penny. I said, so you go back and tell Mike DeWine that. And I said, that's not even logical. I said, but before y'all send out these letters, y'all need to get the facts of these stories. I said, I bet you wouldn't want to go in there and see your son and daughter the way I've seen him. I said, so I'm not going to pay him a half of a penny. And I said, that's not going to change. I'm not going to change my mind. I said, so don't waste your paper. Don't send another letter or anything. I said, because that stance is going to change. I'm not going to change. And I said, and I'm going to refer you to those 2 Facebook pages. Just look under my name. You'll see the 2 links. You have a blessed day. Goodbye. So I made a poster, and I said, would you pay anybody $2,000 for treating your kid like this. And it's been on the Facebook pages. It's, just a series, like small pictures of my son, things that I have had to see when I went to visit him. Because I'm not an artist, I didn't make it up. The recordings, because I got an audio tape of him being hit by a savage state of Ohio employee on December 1st, 2012. I didn't hire anybody. We're not actors or actresses. It's the real deal. But after I put that poster out, I never heard from that law firm again. Because I guess they probably told Mike DeWine and them, look, y'all messed up big time. Because I got like all of those invoices that the state of Ohio was sending me, Mike DeWine and them, and it was charging like $493. And then after a while, they took those off and put $30 on it. But my son never asked to be over there because they illegally committed him over there because you're supposed to be moderately retarded when you're, you know, committed to an ICF MR facility, which is owned and ran by the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. So it's a state of Ohio facility. And like I said, I don't pay people for abusing and neglecting my son. And like I said, I'm not full of hot air. And then when I say stuff, like I actually don't call anybody names, but I will describe people. And like I said, Sanford's a very, very evil, corrupt, lying lawyer. But she ain't going to go after me about slander because I can prove it. I got audio videos I made of her lying on me. I actually, have taken her lies that I know of and have actually rebutted them. I feel like a lawyer myself sometimes, but I actually had taken her lies and rebutted them with evidence, what other people, the truth will come out when you actually, get the truth from other people, because this woman's a pathological liar. And then I done met a third lady, or a third report of her trying to tear up families, because this woman said that she trying to destroy her family. And then white lady, and then another white lady was talking about Sanford. And then there's another, the third report is a written report, and this person said they were anonymous, but they said they were a white male, and they were talking about how trashy and nasty Sanford is, and that she won't get back to you, and then this other woman said that she lies, and when she doesn't get back to you, and oh, it's just awful. I mean, why she isn't disbarred is a downright disgrace. But I filed a complaint against her with the Ohio Supreme Court Disciplinary Council, and like I said, they ignored that part about the lying. I said, because they're all corrupt. I said, if they were ethical, they would want to get rid of a lawyer like that. I said, but she could be a family member, or, you don't know who all knows who, and, she might be the sister-in-law of just like Mike DeWine got his, and he's probably just as corrupt as his father. His son is now on the Ohio Supreme Court, and then this idiot is running for governor. Mike DeWine, they just move around, but they're just as corrupt as they can be. And I say, ain't nobody going to say nothing to me about it. Because when he sent me those invoices from his office, trying to melt me out of money and stuff, it shows how corrupt he was. And the incompetence is about as bad as the corruption. And that's why I said I don't have no respect for lawyers unless they're maybe civil rights. I said, because they're just so dirty. They're just, these government lawyers, I mean, they're just pure human scum. But I know they're not the only one, because you got bad law enforcement people in law enforcement. And my son, not my son, but my brother's even in law enforcement. So I don't have nothing against, police officers or COs and stuff. And there's been some really nice police officers that treated Marquis nice, because they were nice people, and they had some training, or, some basic common sense about how to deal with somebody that is, developmentally disabled, MRDD or something like that. So not all of them are bad. I said there's nurses. I've worked with some terrible nurses. I've been in nursing for, like I said, I'm gonna say 31 years. Worked in 6 hospitals. So I think I'm a pretty qualified judge of nursing. Now I've never worked in OR and stuff like that, but I've been in 6 hospitals, and you know, I can look back and compare all 6 of them, know which one is the best hospital, in my opinion, in my experience, that I ever work in. I know the hardest nursing unit I ever worked on and the easiest. But I've been working around some vicious, nasty nurses because they're not nice people. They're there for the paycheck or the prestige. You have an RN behind the name and some other initials and all that kind of stuff. So, I know people are not fit for their jobs. And it's just a shame when it's people that are in a service profession, like law enforcement, like a lawyer that's supposed to uphold the law. You'd think they'd be the last people that would be lying and bribing, but the Bible says they even do this stuff. Lawyers do that. Like nurses and doctors who're supposed to help people, but they're racist, they're biased and stuff. I said, because I done worked around a whole bunch of terrible, terrible, nasty, racist nurses, because they want to, try to treat you like you not, you below them and stuff. And it's only because of racism. So I know it's not just lawyers, but like I said, of all the professions for the upholding laws and to be really ethical and legal, you expect that from an attorney. And I say it's bad when your own uh, organization tells you need to straighten up. The American Bar Association tells them, that they need to really, represent their clients instead of hog nogging and being on the government side. You got a problem. The same way with the I think it was ANA, American Nurses Association. They got a thing talking about how much bullying there is in nursing and stuff, how nurses bully each other and all that kind of stuff, and these managers turn their head, which is all workplace violence, because I taught workplace violence when I worked for the state. I did work for the state of Ohio, and now this was before they did what they did to my son. And and I taught it, and I learned what workplace violence comprised of. It was really eye-opening, because a lot of people think workplace violence is just a physical, like going postal and shooting up everything. But you got different forms of workplace violence. And I said, I didn't know this, but it was in the training manual for me to teach the class. When I taught the class, me and another nurse volunteer. And I said, a lot of people probably don't even know they're doing it. But, bullying, harassment, trying to intimidate people, verbal abuse, all of that stuff, um, threatening behavior, all of that stuff is workplace violence. And I've worked in places where it's just rampant. And the managers turn their head and don't do anything about it, get mad at you if you report it and all this kind of stuff. So I've seen a lot of stuff over the years in nursing. So I can't just say it's just lawyers and stuff. I've seen nurses and aides and social workers. I wouldn't let them take care of my dog if I had one, because they're not people persons. They're there for the paycheck. So, that's, I have to put that in there. Excuse me, I just got through drinking some iced tea with lemon flavor. So, but anyway, getting back to this audio video, this was actually recorded on February 26, 2012. And unfortunately, at that time, I was actually recording these recordings with my son and everybody else on a micro cassette. But starting in February or March 2013, I will have recordings that you can hear very clearly. They should be a lot better in clarity. And that's because I start recording them on a smartphone, the voice recorder apps and that kind of thing. But I haven't got there yet. I have many recordings. I'm still in 2012. I got recordings in 2013, 2014, because they done had him since December or November 2012. So I got tapes all the way up to 2016 when I last talked to my son, and they will start sounding much better when I get to the dates when I started recording them on my smartphone. Not, like I said, that's probably in February or March 2013. So at this time, he was at the Columbus Developmental Center, which is a state of Ohio ICF MRI facility. And ICF MRI means intermediate care facility for the mentally retarded. That's what it means. And of course, they didn't know anything about autism. And he was illegally committed there, and he shouldn't have been, because the law, the state law, their own law says that you have to be moderately retarded to be committed to an ICF MRI facility. And they're just developmental centers. They got them around. There's, I think, Youngstown Developmental Center or Columbus Developmental Center. So there's a few of them around the state, but they're actually operated by the Ohio Department of Developmental Disability Department. That's who owns it and operates it. So it is a state of Ohio facility. And even their state psychologist, and I think his name was Steve Pruitt, said that Marquis shouldn't have been there because he didn't have the lower level functioning that is required to commit somebody to one of those ICF MRI facilities. Now, he backtracked because he was a coward during the hearing. And I got that hearing too. I actually got it on tape. I never put it out there. Part of it, where they never proved that Marquis was moderately retarded, which was a requirement to commit him. And the probate court judge or magistrate, he just ignored that. I mean, it's just so much corruption. But like I said, I'm a Christian, so if God says it is this, it is this. And I said, and these people don't know, that don't be judged on that. And then God will just go ahead and, show out and show his power. Because I believe that's the only way that Marquis is going to be coming home. I believe that, as a Christian, that God controls everything. And I've seen him do so much already. I've seen him show himself in this situation. He lets me know he's in this thing with me and Marquis. And if he doesn't want my son to live the rest of his life like that, he coming home. And people better pray. Sanford and them better pray they're not in the way. Because I already seen God actually, I could call it punishment, but he just stopped the evilness of this very evil attorney named David Belinkie. And when this guy was talking to me on the phone, I knew God was going to punish him, but I felt the wrath of God. I didn't know what it was at that time. I said, what in the world is this that I'm feeling? And it was actually the wrath of God. And God let me know that he took this man off the planet because he made me get a newspaper. And I never got the newspaper. I wasn't subscribing to the newspaper. But that day in Walmart, he made me turn around and get a newspaper because there was a guy standing by a table almost as soon as you came in, and he was trying to get people to subscribe to the newspaper. And, you got a free newspaper if you subscribe. I walked right past the table. Something spun me around, maybe go back. And I never did subscribe, but I still got a free newspaper. Well, I know why God wanted me to get a newspaper that day. Because when I opened it up, there was David Belinkie's name in the obituaries. And God told me, he said, you ain't got to worry about fighting this thing. Vengeance is mine, I will repay. And he said, this is also a warning to his friends in the system. Now, that was a few years ago. But when he was talking to me, he was bragging, and I said, God hates pride, and God also hates, because this man was very arrogant, and God also hates somebody that, brags, because he was bragging about, and I run over people in court because I got a big mouth, and I'm a phenomenal. So God hates that kind of stuff. But when you mess with Christian people, God can deal with you. And if you read the Bible, which is my favorite book, you can see how God has dealt with evil and evil people. And there's a lot of ways that he'll deal with them. But this man was so evil and thought that he was unstoppable and all powerful and everything. God just took him off the planet. But the most amazing thing about this is how God made sure he wanted me to know. Because ain't nobody called me and said, oh, David Belinky, because he lied on me. He's the one that filed to take my guardianship away. Because, um, I can't see my son because they pushed me out legally and physically. Because when you're a whistleblowing mother, they'll push you out. And it's a very, very serious violation of Marquis's right and my right. Because we have a right to family, relationship and bond and companionship, especially when there's no abuse or neglect that has occurred. I haven't neglected or abused my son. I've been RN for 31 years. I'm not on any abuse or neglect registries. And I can't see my son, and he can't see his mother. That's why I said, I'm done with this country. I said, because it's been a lie. I said, now everybody, like I told that one African boy, I said, well, you stand up and salute the flag. If America's been good to you, where you can live the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness and an American dream, you do it. I said, but for me, I can't do that. I said, because I don't, especially for my son, but me too. Because I had to tell, like I told Sanford in a phone call, because she won't talk to me. And I would call her and leave a message. Lord said, don't even call that evil woman no more. Because I already got everything already handled, how I'm going to do this thing. Just pray for it because she's going to need it. But I told her in one of those, on his voicemails, I said, but see, I'm a victim in this thing too. It ain't just Marquis. I said, because I love my child just as much as you all love your kids. And I don't know why, maybe, because I'm black? I'm going to love my son less or whatever? But I realized, I said, these people are just pure evil. And a lot of people think, that you have to do something. I said, there's been very, very wonderful, nice people that have lived and died and been treated like crap, and haven't done anything wrong. I said, Marquis ain't done nothing to nobody. He's not a criminal. He is developmentally disabled, but he's high function. He's a wonderful young man. He's very intelligent. He's got wonderful manners. He likes to have friends. He's got hobbies. And they treat him worse than the inmate. I said, at least the inmates get phone calls and visits from their family. But you don't have to do anything wrong for people to treat you like crap. I said, people will treat you like that because they're crap. They're low lives. Just like that black guy that went over there and got beat in Greece. He got beat like that because he was, only savages do that. I said, look at Jesus. Jesus went to the cross to die for our sins, but they didn't really know that and believe that. They treated him like a criminal. Yet here all he did was preach love and, and if he, other than, preaching, he was healing people. All he did was good. But he was crucified and treated worse than those criminals that was hanging close to him. So you don't have to do anything wrong for people to mistreat you. They mistreat you because they're sick in the head and they're very evil people. And I had to tell Marquis that. That's my son's name if you don't know by now. Because he should think that he did something wrong. And I said, no. I said, you're a wonderful young man. I said, just because somebody treats you like crap don't mean you deserve it. They took my guardianship away. I ain't abused and neglected my son, but I am a whistleblower. And I vow I wasn't going to turn my head and hang my lip, and not speak out about what's going on with my son. Because I love my baby. And I know God's got it. But that's the reason why I've been able to hang on, and my son, because I know he's protecting my son, because there ain't nothing going to happen to Marquis no more. They're not going to keep him longer than what God says they could keep him, even though God doesn't want evil to go on in the world. A lot of people blame God for things, But you can't blame God for sin and evil. God said Jesus is going to come back and clean all this mess up. And he'll let people know, no more sin. That's the way I feel about it. The ones that are want to, live the way they need to live, they can go up to heaven with me. But hell's prepared for the rest of you. Want to act a fool? You want to keep on hating and doing all that nasty, dirty things? Then hell's for you. God has never approved of sin or mistreating people, and people have to answer to that. Because Jesus said He's going to even tell people, what you done to the least of my burden, you did it to me. Now, when you're mistreating people and all that kind of stuff, you're going to answer to it. Unless you go ahead and repent. And cause Jesus died for everybody. So I might even see Sanford up in the air. But she's got to repent. She can't keep doing what she's doing. Because that one woman said she likes to destroy families and stuff. But it's a really, really bad, serious civil rights violation and a constitutional violation. And then also human rights or a God-given violation, because God is the one that designed the family. And when you taking a child, and I don't care if they're 9 years old or 99 years old, you taking a son or daughter away from their mother, you're going to have to answer to God, because God wanted that child to be nurtured and loved, and He knew that children were gifts that we could enjoy seeing our loved ones and teaching them and then seeing grandchildren, all that kind of stuff. But God designed it. He designed the family just like He designed marriage. So, it's not only civil rights violations or constitutional right violation or human rights violation. It's a God-given violation. And He has a right to see His mother. And if there's no abuse or dysfunction or neglect, they have no right. But I'm also a victim in this as a mother. And that's why I said there's a racial thing going on, because this country's very racially sick. That's why you got all this stuff going on. Trump, he's been humble over and over again. They can't get this Obamacare thing repealed because God won't let them. Because sometimes you think, and it's really amazing. God's hand is in it, because here the Republicans got control of the Congress. They control, we're going to repeal this thing day one, because we got the White House now, and we also got the Senate and the House of Republicans, or House of Representatives, whatever they call them. But anyway, they control both chambers of Congress, and they still can't get it repealed. Not if God doesn't say He's going to let you do it, because sometimes when you act ugly and your intention is wrong, and Obamacare might need some things that will help improve it, but they really went after it because it was a black president. Like in my example, personally, and of course I dealt with very prejudiced, nasty, people at work, nurses, nurse managers, or head nurses, supervisors, and all that kind of stuff. But in this situation with me and my son, they always had told me that I escalated my son. So when these white autistic individuals, doesn't matter if they're children or adults, male or female, when they're having meltdowns or, behavior, sensory overload, some of them are so violent, they have to wear helmets because they'll bang their heads or they can injure themselves. So when they're having these meltdowns at home, I bet they don't tell the white mothers and the white fathers, you're escalating your son. But they always have said that to me. I said, no, he's venting to me, not because of me. Because by the time I, would go over to visit him, or when he would come home from school, he would be so sensory overloaded because they didn't know how to care for an autistic student or autistic patient or whatever. But he would be so agitated and overloaded with the environment and with the way they were restraining or secluding or whatever, that he would vent to me. I said, 'Cause my son ain't never told me, get out, I hate you, I don't want to be bothered with you. But that's that racism thing where they try to put the black mother down. I said, I know they don't tell them white parents that. No debate. And then they want to try to break up because they've been trying to put a wedge between me and my son forever. And the number one reason why they have not, like I said, I haven't seen him in over 2 years. They have not allowed me to see him in 2 years because they know I collect evidence. I got 3 Facebook pages. That's where I do it. And it's full of evidence, pics, documents, and recordings. So they don't want me to see all these signs, extra signs of abuse and neglect, and collect it like I've already been collecting it and have it on these Facebook pages. They don't like him talking to me because he's high functioning. My son is verbal. He's able to express his feelings. That's why I did that third Facebook page. They don't like him telling me things. There's a lot of things he has told me that they wish I didn't know. And some of it's retaliation, but I feel like I told that law firm, I don't even waste your time doing it. I said, 'cause God is in control, and that's what the Lord told me. He said, I don't want you calling them evil. Don't make no more complaints, no more grievances. You done all you could do. Step back, let me handle it. It's already handled. Pray for them because they're gonna need it. He said, don't call them evil people no more. He said, don't waste your time. And he's the only thing that has, only person, the only entity, or however you want to describe it, that has stopped me from calling Sanford. Now, I've never cussed her out, but I told her she's a liar. I said, because that's one thing, I don't cuss and call names, but I will describe it. And I said, when I told her she's a liar, she can't say I'm slandering her. I said, because I'll go ahead and point her to those 3 audio videos that I got of her proving that she's a liar. That's the way I do it. I ain't getting no slander letters for none of them. Not K-Sec, not DeWine, not Robert Montgomery, not none of them. Not Franklin County Board of DD. I got them all on my justice page, showing all the dirt and corruption and how they file all kind of deceitful motions and they lie on you and everything. And it'll be out there forever until Jesus tell me to take those pages down, and he ain't gonna tell me that. Because he told me time for exposure. He said, you ain't got because the victory belongs to you because I got the victory. And he said, you're right. I have things that I want Marquis to do with his life and your life. And he says, already handled. He said, but you can't expose them. But I don't worry about nobody's gonna go up against me with my evidence and stuff. And really, it's easy for them. All they do is go to the pages and see how I do it. And it ain't all the evidence I got. But Sanford, you better watch yourself. Because there's a lot, like I said, there's other people that says that she's doing the same thing that she has done to me and my son, except for, like I said, it's been over 2 years since I was allowed to visit my son. And it's been since May the 13th of this year. It's been over 2 months that he's been allowed to call me. Because if he doesn't call me, it's not because he doesn't want to. He loves his mother. And that's what I have on this audio tape that I'm going to go ahead and post. And like I said, it was at Columbus Developmental Center. And he's just telling me, that he wants to leave. He's very bonded. He wants to see his mother. He wants to spend time with his mother. He wants to live with his mother. And I said, they think my son is some kind of inanimate object. I said, he's got feelings. He got feelings to love his mother, knows his mother loves him. He's got, he yearns to do his hobbies. He likes to watch sports. He used to play Special Olympics, because I had him in bowling, and then he played basketball. And he likes to watch TV and listen to music, just like anybody else. I said, he has no quality of life. They let him, his skin get so bad, he told me he had to go every Tuesday and Thursday and get light treatments on his skin because it was so itchy all over his body and stuff. And that the color was fading out of his hands and stuff for all the creams and stuff. I said, he didn't have no kind of condition like that when he was at home. They got him on Thorazine, the maximum dose. I said, shoot, they don't even put people on Thorazine anymore. It's not even prescribed, even for true, schizophrenics, because they usually do it it's an antipsychotic, old school. And, they would give that, and it's kind of like a tranquilizer, but they would give it for schizophrenia. I said, they don't even prescribe that anymore. Then they start him on lithium. Now this is Sanford, and that's why his weight. And so you go to the petition, the one on causes, and you can actually see, what I seen July the 8th, 2015. I was shocked. He had gained like at least 50 pounds within 3 months. But on this audio tape, you would hear him just constantly tell me he had to leave. And then towards the end, because it's from February 26, 2012, I was, comforting and reassuring him and telling him, I said, you're going to be coming back home. And then, I was telling him I love him. And then he kind of laughed because he start feeling happy. And I said, oh, I'm so glad to hear you laugh. He said, well, he said he's excited about discharge. He's excited about, being discharged and coming back home. And these idiots are always trying to say that, like, my son can't stand me and stuff. I said, oh, he yearns to see his mother. And that's the reason why on that videotape it's so heartbreaking. I said it was pathetic that big old nasty white lady, fat nasty white, and I don't have nothing against white people. I just brought a lady that I didn't even know groceries, over $60 worth of groceries at the store. And she was an older white lady. Didn't know her, but she had a food stamp card, and Lord told me pay for her groceries. He said, Myra, do it. You could do it. And I told the cashier, and the cashier was white and gave me a hug. She couldn't believe it. Because I guess she said, what in the world? This woman going to pay this stranger's groceries? And this stranger's white, and this woman's black and stuff. But the Lord told me to do it. As a Christian, I went ahead and did it. But I don't call people names. I will describe them. But this lady that tried to get my son to go off on me was a fat white lady, a trashy looking lady that tried to get Marquis to go off on me. Took him back across the street. Because when he first see me, he said, there's my mom. But, honey, they took him away across the street and told him, was trying to get him to, go off on me. And told him to ask me what I came there for. And my son, he never said nothing like that to me. And he didn't say it when he first seen me that day. He said, there's my mom. Because when I seen him, I said the same thing. I said, there go my son. There's Marquis, And then they lied, because they'll lie on him too. They lied and said he ran across the street when he seen me. And he didn't run across the street when he seen me. I was sitting in the parking lot in my car, and he had crossed into the parking lot, walking with the white lady and some little young black girl and stuff. And he said, there go my mom. And, I said, hi. And they took him across the street, and the big fat white lady told him to ask me that question. But it all came out, because right after he said that, he was telling me he missed me and he loved me and don't leave. And could I go to counseling with him? Because I told you he's going to counseling because the U.S. Department of Education made the Columbus City School District pay for it. And it's not because of me and him, it's because of the school district. And I said, I can't go, but I love you. I mean, my heart just split in two. But when I drove away, I was crying because he was crying. Mom, please, I miss you a long time. I love you. Can I get another hug? And I gave him a drink. So the drink you see in his hand, I gave him a drink, and I gave him, because I always bought him stuff, And I think I bought him some Long John Silver, because he loved Long John Silvers. And I gave him a lemonade drink. But it was, you could just imagine as a mother how I feel. And that's what people say to me on Facebook, And I just created this petition. I said, sign the petition, though. But they said, it's prayer for both of y'all. Because even people realize, it's not just your son. You as a mother, you're going through hell. And that's why I feel about it. That's why I said, you won't see me stand up talking about some pledge allegiance and all that kind of stuff. I said, because that don't apply to me. I said, anytime you can't see your own child, something's wrong. And you ain't done anything to harm. All you done is stood up and advocated for your child and, try to get them the right, decent, humane treatment. I know I've seen my son just be abused and neglected. I've seen him physically abused, physically neglected, medically neglected. I've seen him assaulted. I've seen him emotionally abused and neglected. I've heard it. And as a mother, I said, that's why I said no. I said, because my rights are being trampled on as a mother. And I said, anytime a loving, supportive, professional mother, and that's why I said I wouldn't be able to practice nursing if I was abusing or neglecting anybody. And see, I've been a nurse for a long time. I'm not at the beginning of my nursing career. I'm at the end. So I done already met milestones where, and I have to try to tell some of these nasty, people that I work with over the years that and stuff. I said, I'm not a new grad. I done already, and I appreciate nursing and stuff, and everything, but it's bad how bad it has went. And it's like other professions, you got a lot of nasty people in it that don't belong in it, aides and nurses. But, getting back to this, let me go ahead and let you hear this. And like I said, this is from February the 26th, 2012 at Columbus Developmental Center. The state of Ohio operated and owned ICF MR facility. And, Marquis, because they have always, tried to say I set my son off and stuff. I said, well, all you ever hear from him as far as mom is concerned, how much he misses mom and how much he loves mom. But you also hear how he wants to come home and the place sucks and he needs to get out of there and I want to leave and stuff. And I'm going like, well, why is my son always telling me this? Other than because he misses me, he loves me, he misses his home, he misses his hobby. I said, but could it be because of the way they treat him and the environment triggers him and the environment, puts him in overload and he's been abused and neglected and assaulted by staff and other residents? Actually, it was all of those things. But it wasn't just because he missed mom and he loves mom. They were treating him like crap over there. And they didn't know how to deal with an autistic resident. Like I had to tell them, I said, well, you can't take him over there to that day have. It's too noisy for him as an autistic person. I said, because mentally retarded people don't really have sensory deficits and sensory integration problems like autism because they're two different things. Just like Down syndrome is different from autism or a mental retardation or something. But these idiots didn't know it. I said, that's why I said incompetence is about as bad as a corruption. I said, but, Rob Capardi and Mike D. Snow and John Martin and that Peggy Martin, I got emails and stuff where I try to get help for Marquis or, talked about his abuse and neglect. I got stuff from the governor's office when I called John. I got all kind of stuff on these people, all kinds of stuff, and that's why they know. Well, just keep him away from. And I said, don't retaliate and make God mad because he's got the date. Because he told me, he said, I got the date when I'm going to bring Marquis home. It's already handled. He said, don't even waste your time calling them evil people. I don't want you to do it anymore. You just go ahead and do what you're doing. And when the day comes, he coming on out of there. But pray for him because they're going to need it. But I got all kind of evidence. And their thing is, well, don't let him see her, or no contact with her. And I said, I hope they don't think they can try to retaliate against me. Because when God said, that's it, enough is enough, the day hasn't come, the day has come for him to go home, I'll be right on over there bringing my son back home. Ain't nothing they can do about it. But it's just been just awful. When you got such corrupt, evil, sick people, racist people in your life, it's just terrible. And that's why I said I just don't have no respect. I don't have no respect for this country because it's been so racially ill and sick. And, they always blame the victims, and it's been very hypocritical because we're supposed to be a Christian nation and God we trust and all that kind of stuff. And God has really, really, and not just humbled Trump and them, but he has really started to humiliate this country. Look at what North Korea is doing. There ain't nothing the United States can do about it because they know China will jump right all down United States' throat. Russia too. So the days of the great, big, wonderful superpower USA is over. But God has really uh, put the racial things out front and center. They have really went out front and center. All the different racial crimes and stuff. Because, like I said, everybody in God we trust, and then they turn around and blame the victims and stuff. And it's never been a Christian country because it's been so uh, uh, racially set and all the different, things that go on in society. But, this Obamacare, they might not never get that thing repealed because God won't allow it to happen. And I know it's got to be a big surprise because everybody said, oh, yeah, we got the White House with Trump winning. We got the Senate. It's a Republican majority. We got the House of Representatives. It's Republican majority. We got it. And they still, God will stop you. Boom. Especially when you got the wrong intentions. And people don't think God ain't interfering, or I don't want to say interfering, but let's say intervening, and that he don't have the power to stop anything, but he'll show you he's God. So with that, let me let you hear this, and because I don't want to go over, because if I do, I'm not going to be able to upload this. So let me let you hear this, and you'll hear Marquis saying that he wanted to leave. And then at the end, after I got to talking to her, encouraging him, and he that's I love you, and which I do. I love him and miss him with all my heart. But the Lord dries my tears. I know he's in God's hands. And then, he gets to chuckling, and then he said, I said, I'm so glad that you're laughing, because he would tell me after he would be so upset when he would tell me how they were treating him, but I cheer him up. We pray, God cheer him up. Jesus will make him feel love, make me feel love. We feel love. And he said, I feel better now. And I'm going like, yes, Lord, yes, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. So he told me, he said, I'm excited. He said, I'm excited because I'm going to be discharged. So anyway, this is from February 26, 2012. So here we go. So you'll hear him say that, he wanted to come home, and then he was, getting angry because he said, I want to go home. I want to be discharged. And he always said, I want to go home, man. I want to be discharged, man, And then, I was talking to him and telling him that, he was going to be discharged, which he was, and, the hang on in there. And then and I said, I love you. And he, like, he finally started feeling better, and he kind of laughed because he was feeling good. And I said, I'm so glad it's good for me to hear you laughing, And then he said, I'm so excited. I'm excited about being discharged, and I'm proud that I'm going to be discharged. And, but it just proves his suffering, because I got 3 pages, so let me tell you what those are. The petition you can find on the pages is, I actually got one on Change also, but it wasn't opening up the link, so I actually started another one on calls, and so you'll be able to see that. That link should be on the pages, but I have 3 Facebook pages: the abuse and neglect of Marquis Tanksley by the government, Justice for Autistic Marquis Tanksley, and then the audio tapes of Marquis Tanksley and suffering, abuse, and neglect. And that's what this is going on. And so um, you will see this on that audio tape page, and you'll also see it in my YouTube channel, because I also got a YouTube channel. And it's got like 60, 70 audio tapes and counting. And I also had the audio tape of when it's got over 7,000 views of when I seen Marquis get hit in his chest and grabbed by his t-shirt, thrown up in the state van. So that's all in the YouTube channel. And also the videotape of when I last seen him, July the 8th, 2015. So, and then on the causes petition, because I had put a petition out right before I joined Facebook. It has like 2,200 signatures, because it was justice for abused, neglected, autistic resident. And that's when my son was at CDC. So I went ahead and put another one out there. It's not the petition that'll get him sent home. Jesus, God in the flesh, Jesus, God the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. They're all in one. So when I say Jesus, I'm talking about God, but that's who's going to bring him back home. So once again, I'll go ahead and play this, and then I got to get ready and go, because so there you have it. That he always has wanted to come home, be with his mother, who loves him unconditionally, that he knows I love him. He can feel my love, that he loves, that he wants to be around. And they still have always tried to. So if he was so escalated by me and upset by me, how come he's always telling me over and over again how much he loves me and misses me and wants to come home and and at times describe abuse and neglect and assault by them. So anyway, Marquis, I got to go and end this audio tape. But one day, if he gets to hear these, I want him to know I love him. Jesus got him. I'm looking forward to him coming back home. Stay strong. I'm proud of you. And I just love you very much. And thank you all for listening, and have a blessed one.